Sean Payton is going to think about the fourth down call every day for the rest of his life. He's going to wake up in the morning, and the first thought is going to be, why didn't I kick the field goal? Why didn't I kick the field goal? Why did I go for it on fourth down? Why did I open the door to let the Patriots back into the game? Why did I do that? Secondly, is going to be Jarrett Stidham. Why did you try to throw the football? Hold on to it and take a sack. But first is going to be, because that's the play that opened the door, because you're looking at what's going to be a 10-0 lead, because you're still kicking a field goal at that point. The weather's fine. Everything's okay. It's not so. Everything is good. You're up 10-0, but he doesn't kick it. And he's going to think about it, and you know what? He should, because of two reasons. Number one, was it probably heat check Sean Payton? Because I think for some kind of coaches, it's, I can do whatever I want, regardless of the situation, regardless of my quarterback situation. We like to go for it. We can do it. Heat check. And it was a bad play that was doomed from the beginning. And you heard Tony Romo talk about how Jarrett Stidham needed to recognize this a little bit sooner. And look what happened. The play was a disaster. They don't get the field goal. Of course, we know after that, Patriots go down. They get the touchdown after the turnover. They kick the field goal. They win the game 10-7. But that play did it. And this is why that was the wrong decision. Because, and we said this with the Lions 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers, when they kept going for it on fourth down, and I told you there's a difference between going for it on fourth down because you like to do it and it's part of your identity. There's a difference in doing it week 10 in Vegas and doing it at home in the AFC Championship game. And especially when you figure you want to do it this time with a backup quarterback. There's lots of things that can happen. Lots of things. And it's not like Jarrett Stidham had been having a great game so far. He hit on one pass. Right? Hit on one pass. That's great. So understand, yes, it's 4th and 1. But this is why all the metrics that say go for it on fourth, all that you throw it out the window, because we always seem to talk about, hey, this didn't go your way. So how does the math work out? Oh, it always says to go for it. You don't play these games in absolutes on pen and paper. And using erasers when something doesn't go your way, right? We don't play these games here. There's all sorts of real-life decisions that go into it, which is, how is your quarterback playing? You have a backup quarterback. What would be the mental fallout of not getting this first down, right? What's going to happen? And all of a sudden, New England had life breathed back in because they had done nothing offensively the entire game. Why would you do that? But especially when you think about, you have to do this with a backup quarterback, right? Now, you and I differed on when we talked about Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down in the NFC title game a couple of years ago, when you said, hey, Josh Reynolds should catch that pass, right? The one pass that Josh Reynolds dropped on fourth down. And I said, I'm with you, but you can't throw to your fourth receiver in the NFC title game in the middle of third quarter, early fourth quarter, and not expect jittery hands, I might drop this pass, right? Now, yeah, I get it. He should catch that pass, but this is the NFC Championship game. It's on the road, and things are really dicey. You need to be cool under pressure. And throwing to your fourth receiver, yeah, I'm not surprised he dropped it. Here's the same situation. Wait, you're going to trust your backup quarterback to do this, who's not been having a great game? You want confidence? How about kicking a field goal? Hey, we got down there. We got the touchdown. I threw a touchdown pass. You got a field goal. You're up 10-0, right? You're up 10-0. Right, and that's why when this happened, I said, this is the fall of this is going to be absolutely epic, and the fallout then bled over the rest of the game. So this is why all of the metrics of you should go for it on fourth down here, on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, no, all that stuff goes out the window. This is the AFC Championship game, and you're looking to win. And the thing that got me the most about it was hearing Sean Payton talk after the game. And look, I'm glad he's taken responsibility for it and he's owned it. But when he said he gave the wrong reason for why you would go for it on fourth down. He said, man, I was just thinking, we get the ball in the end zone. It's 14-0 with the way our defense is playing. Woo, good luck coming back, which in theory, yes, right? But you also have to get the first down and then keep going and get in the end zone.
No, but that's the bigger point.
But the other thing is that if your defense is playing well, that's when you take the points. If your defense isn't playing well, I can see thinking, well, field goals aren't going to win this game, right? It's 17-14. We got to go for it.
Yes.
But when it's 7-0 and your defense is playing lights out, you always take the points. Like, his logic as an NFL coach that's won the Super Bowl was so incredibly flawed. Like, how do you say, hey, coach, they're not doing anything. Why are you going to let them back in the game? Kick the field goal. It's a two-score game. What are we doing? But so even I thought his reasoning was awful for it because it was opposite what logic says it would be.
Well, but that's the thing. It's the smartest guy in the room theory, and certainly down distance and game situations, some of the most accomplished coaches, including the two we're talking about here, Sean Payton in this instance and Sean McVay, go back. Mike McCarthy's got a new job, plenty of late game management issues. We can do this all day with guys who've won Super Bowls or been to Super Bowls of, wow, that's kind of an interesting strategy. Let's see how it works out for him. In this particular case, your point is the latter point was the one that really stuck out to me. It's 4th and 1 from the 14, and you call a play that is, unless some miracle happens, he's not breaking the 14 yards of the touchdown, which means you're setting up for another 1st and 10 from wherever, the 13, the 12, 10, say he gets 4 or 5 yards. Like, you still got to go do that against that defense, which has been a slog to that point in the game, except for the one big hit, right? So you're probably getting that point. So, A, why aren't you running the football on 4th and 1? Or B, take your points and move on. Again, your defense is playing very well, backup quarterback. You and I and all the free world was watching the Weather Channel on a secondary device, I have no doubt. So I can't believe that suddenly you're isolated. Nope, you get no weather reports. You're flying blind as to what's about to happen here in Denver, right? So they knew the weather was going to change,
Yeah.
right? You knew the storm. You didn't know how it would manifest.
No, you didn't know
but
it was going to be something we can't kick. Yeah.
But also you're still realizing the opportunity when the wind does start swirling, and we watched it there. It's the best in times, it's the worst of times as a kicker in Denver. And we've seen that where suddenly it's like you're kicking into a wall and the ball starts flying back at you at a rapid speed.
Yep.
Like you're in a sci-fi movie.
Sure.
Or, Wizards. But in this case, it's take your 3 points and say, okay, Drake May, who's been pretty generous with the football all postseason, it's been well chronicled. Yes, you have the potential explosives out of the run game with Henderson, whatever, but they're using him as an extra, and the running backs had to be used as extra blockers because Campbell had been so compromised the last couple games. So there's this big chess match, and you had what at the time was about as sure a field goal attempt as you can get.
Well, and you think about this to look forward, right? We talk more about the metrics with the field goal. Is that, okay, well, here, Jarrett Stidham failed on 4th down, okay? He failed on 4th down, got rushed, didn't recognize it, didn't make the play, made a bad throw, incomplete, right? What metrics also won't tell you. How much do you think was in his head when they got the ball back, and it's like, you know what? I have to I got to make something happen here. I can't get sacked on here. I got to throw the ball away, and he turns the ball over, and New England has the walk-in touchdown, and suddenly the game is tied. You don't know how much that's a mental effect on your quarterback when he's coming off the field going, man, I've hit one pass, and, now we just lost it on 4th down. I got to make something happen. So making something happen sometimes is forcing a ball where it shouldn't be. Sometimes it's trying to, a heat check throw deep or over the middle, and sometimes it's, well, I'm being rushed. I'm just going to throw the ball away so I can avoid this 12-yard sack. And what happened? Him throwing the ball away gave the game to New England because they're able to walk in from a short yard out and tie the game at 7 in a game that they were absolutely dominating. So there's all sorts of different variables that come into that decision that are not broken down.
Now, as you laid that out, and I've watched it a number of times, I keep wondering, should that have been an incomplete pass? So while he didn't have a normal throwing motion, wasn't that the same as a push forward? So why is that a fumble?
There was a Tua play that was just like that it was, oh, no, he's throwing the ball forward. Oh, okay.
No, but that's what I mean. Didn't he throw that forward? I mean, it's not clean, and obviously his hand gets hit and everything.
And he had 2 hands on it,
but
But
either way, we've seen push passes all the time. I exhibit A, you've got 15 Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allens in the last 3 years.
He's walking on the field going, hey, Mahomes would get that call. Why didn't I get it?
That's right.
Mahomes would get it.
I showed up in a cowboy hat. Damn it.